Right up, turn that dial, put on your grin, stay a while. Hey! News gets weird, they've seen stranger. Big red phone for calling danger. Wade's got charts, Carter's singers, pointing fingers at the big spend slingers. It's the Wade and Carter Show, where your crazy headlines go. Roasting all the grand proposals with their coffee half in tow. They'll laugh, they'll rant, they'll roll, keeping big plans on patrol. Grab your seat, enjoy the blow-by-blow on the Wade and Carter Show. Oh yeah! Tax hike here, rule book longer. They poke fun, make your spine feel stronger. One says hold up, one says please. Both say freedom louder than the DC breeze. It's the Wade and Carter Show, where your crazy headlines go. Roasting all the grand proposals with their coffee half in tow. They'll laugh, they'll rant, they'll roll, keeping big plans on patrol. Grab your seat, enjoy the blow-by-blow on the Wade and Carter Show. Turn it up and let's all go. It's the Wade and Carter Show.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show live from the Atson studio, located in the beautiful offices at 205 in downtown Victoria. We're glad you're here. Let's see who's Randy Langston, Scott Snow, Marvin Mickish on the podium
Gentlemen,
this
Mark
morning.
Kurtz, good morning, brother.
Glad you're all here. Brent's back.
I am back. I'm mostly happy.
Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerlam Hayfeed and Ranch Services. Get on by, get your Wade and Carter blend, get it down before the rain this weekend.
21714 American Plant Feed, APF. Fantastic weed and feed type product. So weed and feed doesn't say it right. That's probably also trademarked by Scott's. This fertilizer is just vastly superior for our soil. 73 degrees in Victoria, Texas, under cloudy skies with a high today of 84. And yes, Bob Constantine, tonight is bingo. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Where friends meet friends. Be there tonight.
Be there tonight.
Bob Constantine, they count on you, sir. They count on your $10,000 a week. Bob is a guy, and I love Bob Constantine on so many levels. I had a great evening with him at the Warriors weekend muster last week, or this week. It was this week.
Saturday.
Well, whatever. It's just,
I know.
the days are just a complete blur. But Bob Constantine is exactly what Palace Bingo needs. He'll go in there and drop 3500 on I have 19 displays. He has to bring a part-time employee to read all of his bingo displays. And then he buys every ticket for the horse races and all that. He spends $3,500. He leaves there with $2,000, and he says he's a winner.
He is a winner.
He is. And the big winner is the 7 charities supported by Palace Bingo. So tonight, Wade and Carter, if you haven't ever been there, I'll give you a secret. If you don't want to stay, you can come, play for a while, and leave.
Just leave us your machines.
Leave us your machine, and we'll split with you. Ash and I will call you dutifully and split with you anything that you win when you leave. Cody says keep the money. It's our money, right, Cody?
It's our money.
You want to give Cody a mic today?
No.
Okay.
I guess we have to.
Yeah, we don't really have to.
Junior
says
Samples
the food
does
is
point
really
out-
good. Yep.
Yeah, the food is good at Palace Bingo.
Sherry Jacobs checking in.
Hi, Sherry. Sherry will be there
Sure,
tonight.
will be
I
there
have
tonight.
no doubt.
And her daughter Lindsay, I'm sure will be there too. Scott Tomko, good morning. Pete Strauss, maybe Pat and
Hi,
Laurie will come
Patrick.
by. John Anderson. There's Randy Gutenberger. Good morning, Randy.
Hey, Randy.
Tammy Keeling, Linda Christ, Ron
Manage your
Koshin,
crazy self.
Brent Anderson, Tommy Kingston, Greg Garcia, Lisa Poole, Ricky King, Jordan Glass, Justin Glass, Daniel Wade White, David Glass, Rena Scherer, Bobby Leister. Good morning, everybody. Glad you're all here. Maybe Rena and Calvin will come by. Torm Bales, good morning.
Seeing Randy Gutenberger, I want to share with Randy is Rylan, my 13-year-old 8th grade track athlete, which, by the way, 8th grade track, junior high track, because 7th and 8th grade run together, is absolutely a labor of love as a parent, because it is right there with
It's
watching
just labor. There's no
junior
love.
high girls basketball. Whee! But watching Rylan run the 110s and endure the 300 hurdles is just hilarity. His mother and I just sit there, and I mean,
Does he
literally
look like a Lipizzan or stallion going over those things with those legs?
he looks like Bambi trying to jump over a twig, and he's running. And in the 300s, every time that he clears the hurdle, for those of you that don't know, you start off way on that side of the track, and you run, and I guess there's, 12, 13 hurdles. I don't know exactly.
3/4 of the track.
3/4 of the track. It's a brutal race because the 300 ought to take, 30-something seconds. But by the time you throw in 13 or 14 hurdles, whatever the number is, it takes almost a junior high kid like 50 seconds to run it. And every hurdle, Rylan looks like he's kind of gotten over his skis, and he has to, like, the next 2 steps, he's kind of catching his balance. And Dawn and I just
over, then he straightens back up a little bit.
when on Dawn's videos, which she's good, she never misses an event for any of the kids, and you'll hear her go ooh 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 because he just almost eats it over every hurdle. But the 300 to me is the most grueling race in track, but just because it's an all-out sprint with obstacles. I knew that, Randy. I'm basically your biographer. I knew you ran the 110 and the 330. That's nice. Yeah,
Those were yards.
those were
back in
yards
his
back
day.
in the day. Yeah.
He was.
But anyway, good to
green.
see you in, sir. Happy Easter. I'm going to try to be more unashamed. I don't need. You see where? If you guys get a chance, go to WFAA TV. WFAA, that's Fort Worth, Dallas area. And a friend of mine from college, this guy named Bill Cox, is the mayor of McKinney, Texas. McKinney is right next to Salina, where they went ahead and had their $2.5 billion. I mean, it's a loony nut bin up there of white people with money. They're loony.
And apparently some sort of guilt.
Yeah, which, by the way, you and I haven't discussed this, but it leads exactly to that point.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
My
I saw the
buddy
story. I just haven't
Is the
talked it.
newly elected, in the last year, been elected mayor of McKinney,
He'll be a one-term mayor after this
and
one.
decided to create some kind of proclamation from the city. Whereas Wade and Carter are on the air every day, and whereas they enlighten us, Therefore, let it be known that today he did some tribute to Ramadan. And there's no doubt, yes, at Torn Bales, McKinney does have a great downtown. But there's no doubt that this is the politification, the political side of Islam. He is pandering to a vast minority group in his community for votes.
Yeah. And he didn't ask anybody if this was a good idea.
No, he just decided to do it.
And the backlash and the blowback
Has been horrific.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, to the point that he may not be a second-term mayor. This may be his legacy.
So, I don't know. What did you make? I love to do this because it's my favorite part of the show. What do you make of? Because it's like I'm really asking for your opinion. Just give me your, Trump half minute. What did you make of the president's speech last night? I know you watched it. I watched it. Every word.
I did.
CBS talked over the president as he made his introductory remarks. I thought CBS was very rude. And
I watched it on the Salem News Network or Salem News Channel or whatever it is.
There you go.
I like that one. There's no commercials. It's kind of interesting.
That's
how do I he didn't say anything I hadn't heard.
Fair.
It was the same blustery talk that he's been given for the last 4 weeks. I was expecting new information, and I didn't get it. And maybe I'm just getting, I don't know.
Cynical?
No, tired of listening to his rhetoric because it's always the same. Well, if we'd still have Sleepy Joe.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I can go with that.
But Junior says he loved the speech, and it was nothing I hadn't heard.
Except,
I think he was. I think he looked tired. I'll be honest.
Wouldn't you
holding on to the podium, which is not. I don't think he's strong when he's holding on to the podium.
Well, you play 36 holes and then try to give a live address.
Well, there's that. But I was wanting new information. I didn't get it. Unless I missed something in there that was new information.
I'll tell you what the message I think he brought to the nation last night. You'll notice that now it may not be new to you or news to us because we follow these things on the daily to the point that, yes, a lot of what he said was reiteration. But what the president did say, the strait is there for the taking. The heavy lifting has been done. Go take the strait. He's telling the weak, worthless Western Europeans, only 2% of our oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz. All of their oil passes through the strait.
Most of it, yeah.
If Western Europe doesn't go take the strait, don't be surprised if Russia or China chooses to do so. It is an important.
China, I can't see Russia doing it.
They're too busy being
too
Russia.
busy being Russia and
that's fine.
Trying to win Ukraine that they thought they'd win.
He's telling
in 2
you
weeks.
it is in your. He did say it's in your interest to control that. The heavy lifting has been done. Just go occupy it and take it over. Yeah. Now there's a benefit there for the U.S. The benefit there is the strait's open, there's no attacks, and everybody looks at the U.S. as kind of a hero, as opposed to right now, it's kind of a conundrum, and everybody's blaming the U.S. The thing that the silence was deafening as Trump, who has in recent days condemned some of our allies, did not mention our allies at all in his speech. He did not say that he was disappointed in Spain or Italy or, Italy is a little bit different. Italy had a pact with us, I think it goes back to maybe Roosevelt. Yeah, or Woodrow Wilson. Anyway, Italy has an agreement with us that we can use their base whenever we want for defensive purposes, but it doesn't mention anything about for aggressive purposes. And they're saying, we're going to hold you to the letter of that. We don't want you coming here and forcing us to be in bed with you when we may not agree with your cause, or our people may not agree with your cause. We don't want to be labeled as U.S. sympathizers. I have to respect that, even though I don't agree with it, because here's the deal. None of those countries would exist as you know them today without the United States.
Well, and here's the issue that Italy doesn't want to talk about. They've let in so many Northern African refugees that are all Muslim, they're worried about the backlash in their country.
100%. And what they're admitting to you, like, for example, Spain. Spain is now a socialist country. Beautiful place. Be a great place for a Trump hotel, maybe a casino, maybe a nice 36-hole track with some. You could do it along the sea, some link-style golf. Then you could go inland. But at the end of the day,
Rock of Gibraltar would make a nice
wouldn't that
floating
be a great,
green.
like, floating par 3?
Yeah.
Just beat it up there. Some days it's a sand wedge. Some days it's a 3-wood. You don't know. Depends on the wind. Greg Garcia sums it up. I think Trump was basically telling Western Europe to grow up and start adulting if you want oil. He told them, good luck. It's your oil. It's your national security interest at stake. We've done killed everybody over there. Go over there and get it. None of those countries, as you know them, would exist at all without the United States over the last 30 years. And secondly, None of those countries, any of you that traveled to Europe when you were younger, none of those countries are remotely recognizable to you today as they were 30 years ago. It is unbelievable how you help me. Islam, Muslim, one is more like political ideology. See, you can't, in this country, we clamor about, and incorrectly quite often, about separation of church and state. The meaning of that, the founders, if you will, their position on that was not what you can't have the 10 Commandments in a public school. Islam is 100% that the government is the religion, and the religion is a form of governance. That's what it is. It is the exact polar opposite of Western culture.
Yes.
So as a result, when you inject that, England, screwed. France was always weak. They're worthless people. Worthless. In a time of war, they wave a white flag and say, please don't bomb the statues. We saw what happened to London. We don't have the never give in mentality. We'll just give in. Just don't bomb us. They're weak. You'll never meet anybody from France you couldn't whip in a fist fight. Never. And the reality, where was the last great French boxing champion?
Canada.
Doesn't exist. That's right. The men from France went to Canada. But I'm telling you that NATO, as you know it, over. You don't think that the people that run this place learned a lesson about our allies? You don't see now why Donald Trump says, wait a minute. I don't want permission, in theory, to use a base that I build for $10 billion in Greenland. Denmark made preparations.
By the way, the U.S. now in negotiations to reopen, I think, 3 bases in Greenland that we abandoned years ago, which makes you wonder why we abandoned them in the first place.
Well, at the time, NATO was viable, and Western Europe patrolled those seas. On top of that, the natural evolution of our climate had not made shipping as practical through that region of the North Atlantic. And now it appears that it's going to open up and that area is going to be.
But the missiles were always a threat and still are.
But now that's why Trump said, I don't want your permission to land here. I want the right to land here. Denmark was prepared to blow up their own runway to keep the U.S. from landing there. They were afraid of an American invasion. Come on. The president said that he thought that the war would essentially be over in 3 to 4 weeks. Now, Cody, if you can fact check, the president can only operate under this executive order, if you will, without declaring war for, isn't it 60 days? At some point, doesn't he have to go to Congress?
Yeah, I think so.
Heard Sean Hannity said yesterday unequivocally, and he does have a pretty direct line to the president, I believe that Fox is often a propaganda arm of the administration. I believe they are fed things by, like, Caroline. Here you go, Sean. Here's some inside skinny from the president.
So the 60-day rule started in 1973 with the War Powers Resolution, and it actually gives him between 60 to 90 days, but he has to have notified Congress within 48 hours of starting the hostilities.
He let him know I did it, but so
2 to 3 months.
He wants this over, and just so you know, Sean Hannity yesterday did report. He goes, hey, look, the King of England, which is, Charles, and the Queen, I don't know when she became Queen.
I think she's
Camilla.
Queen Consort or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not like she's Elizabeth.
If he dies, she doesn't
no.
succeed to the throne. Sean Hannity said that the king had reaffirmed that he was going to keep his state visit to the United States in April 29th. And Hannity said this will be over before the King of England gets here.
I don't think it will.
Okay.
Andrew Alvarez says the 3 to 4 weeks kind of sounds like 2 weeks to the cure to me. It does, and this is the problem I have right now is we've been fed so many lies by our government, I struggle to trust them anymore over the years. It's not just Trump. COVID sort of put the exclamation point on that for me.
I'm going to go with the president on this one.
But here's the thing. We just yesterday deployed the George H.W. Bush aircraft carrier over there. If things are de-escalating and we're getting ready to be out of there in 2 weeks, why do we send 3,500 troops and why are we sending another carrier?
I'm glad you asked.
That tells me we're not going to be out of there in 2 weeks.
You may recall
because it'll take almost that long for that carrier to get there.
It won't. You may recall that the Gerald R. Ford has left the area experiencing some repairs, I think in Greece. They're on the beach somewhere. The presence, to me, the fact that you send them over there and continue to have that show of presence does not make me think, and I agree, Torrin, it's a big flex. But I'm going to tell you why I believe it will be over as he said. And he did say, over the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to really hammer them. And I believe he is.
He also said this thing was going to be over in 2 weeks when it started.
But to me, it was effectively over in 2 weeks. So give me a chance to address the things that you've said with your pacifist Canadian.
There's no pacifist Canadian. Don't start that crap.
You know it's true. You're weak on power.
Pull the shirt over your head in a second.
And you would see what happened. It'd be like Venezuela. 30 seconds to death.
Venezuela.
You know what, Cody? If I ever just fell out right here, he would leave me there and just go on with the show. I, of course.
It's just the sign of a good radio host.
Well, it's a sign of a great friendship that we can disagree the way we do, and it never affects our friendship because I never liked him. Simply used him to learn how to do the board, and once I got that, I'm just tolerant.
You still don't know.
To me, the war, if you will, was effectively over in 2 weeks. It was. I mean, they didn't sink any of our ships. We killed more of our own people than they did. We killed them. With the 6 members lost in the refueling incident. And I don't believe, in the same breath that I don't believe this war with Islam will ever end, the war where Iran was effectively a threat against us was over in 2 weeks. So he told him, I'm going to go in there and bomb you back to the Stone Age. I believe that he's going to really ramp it up. You may hear today that there was a large attack on Iran. But the reason I believe that he has on multiple occasions, sir, said this will be over in 3 to 4 weeks, the midterms. I think he's going to say, we had a mission. We accomplished the mission. We told you it would not go on for months, years, and it didn't. He pointed out how long we were in World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam. He said, folks, we've done all this. Effectively eliminated as a military threat the largest state sponsor of terror in the world in 32 days. In 32 days, with 13 lives lost. There's all kinds of disinformation on the internet about. Yesterday I saw one from Iran News. It said 37 high-ranking American military personnel were killed in an attack. No, that was you Muslim idiot. That was y'all that all got blown up at the Ayatollah Hop or the Falafel House. I forgot which one it was. Falafel House.
No, I agree. Any media source that's citing Iranian news sources as legitimate is wrong.
Scott Bizarre,
a lot of them are doing it.
What is your take on the Gerald Ford, quote-unquote, kitchen fire?
Laundry fire.
Laundry fire. there are worse things than admitting that one drone got through and hit our aircraft carrier. I think I would.
There's no external damage to the thing.
Yeah, true story.
That ship's had problems since it was deployed or commissioned. In
Gerald Ford
2017.
himself was often constipated.
I mean, if any ship is going to go down because of a laundry room fire, it would be the Gerald Ford.
There you go. Gerald Ford knows who killed Kennedy. He took it to the grave with him. He knew him.
So did H.W.
Man, I tell you what, I'm going to tell you that someday you'll get to heaven. Someday you'll get to heaven. You'll look for George H.W. Bush. Good luck. And you will learn that he knew where all the bodies were buried. No doubt about it. Let's take a quick break.
He accepted Jesus as a Savior, so he'll be there.
Did he? Did he tell you that?
Yeah.
Well, if he told you then.
Doesn't have to tell me. Just has to do it.
Kumbaya. Chopping block this weekend. Get in. They've got all kinds of things. You're too late to order.
I had the lumberjack link sausage yesterday for dinner. Boy, that stuff's
What is that? That sounds delicious.
really good.
Did you put on your red flannel shirt?
I did. They have it as a pan sausage too, but they had it in links and.
What's in it?
Put on your RC.
I don't know. It just looked good. I couldn't tell you what's in it. Just go get some.
RCMP cap.
I did not have my RC. I have my Dudley do-right on. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Oh, folks, Chopping Block, get in, get you some food for this weekend. The food is fantastic, and John Turner and his team do a great job.
They really do.
If you go in there and Caden's there, just always ask for the Wade and Carter price. They don't add much, just a little bit. They add just a little bit. Chestic Furniture inviting you to come in. It's not too late. You can go in today, find a recliner, American-made, best recliner. They can have it delivered tonight, ready for you to enjoy. Over the weekend, Texas Open be on TV. You can watch a little golf. Enjoy it. USA Concrete Coatings had a conversation with Charlie Garcia the other day, and I'll tell you what he said. He said, hey, we've been super busy doing the flooring and the pool decks, but let's put that on the burner a little bit till we get deeper into spring and remind folks about USA Foundation Repair. If you've got cracks, doors that don't close properly, reach out to USA Concrete Coatings or USA Foundation Repair. Same number. 578-HOME. They'll come out and give you a quote to level up your house. They can do it on a slab. Really, really good at pier and beam. A one-day fix. Give them a call and let them help you.
And with the dry weather, a little
yeah.
bit of rain this week, things are heaving. So, get your foundation fixed if you got problems.
Absolutely. Veracruz Restaurant. Post Caldo Wednesday, Thursday. Nothing better. Get in there for an early dinner if you don't want to eat at the L&L Grill. Get in there for an early dinner before you come out to bingo. You'll have a great time. Veracruz inviting you.
I wonder if we'll see the gang from Veracruz.
They're usually there. They're often there. So get by Veracruz today. And then Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen, I drove through Refugio yesterday, and Allen's has a depot there, and there was a flatbed there waiting to pick up somebody that needed some help. So if you need a tow, if you need a jump, if you're a big rigger listening anywhere on the No Bull Network, Calhoun, DeWitt, Goliad, Gonzalez, Carnes, Atascosa, B, Frio, Jim Hogg, if you're listening to us on any of our affiliate stations, just know that Allen's Wrecker Service is the premier. They may not be quote-unquote local, but they're always close by. Give them a call.
And they can take you wherever
If you need
to
them.
go.
Absolutely. What did Andrew Alvarez says? I feel like, though, if a drone got through, we would have retaliated much more. After all, we erased a mountain in Korea when they hit one of our ships. Don't touch our boats. I think what you're learning, though, I want to get back to the idea that NATO is done. And, Cody, see if you can find out. Ash said $5 billion yesterday. Sean Hannity repeatedly said, use that T word of $1 trillion.
Yeah, because we're spending $980 billion on defense, but we spend about $6 billion on NATO directly for all the things NATO does, administrative costs.
I just feel like
repairs to
$5 billion
airstrips,
is
all that
way
stuff.
too low for the U.S. annual financial commitment to NATO. It just doesn't. $5 billion. I mean, we spend that on I-10. I'm being honest. We spend that on I-10. So here's the
Yeah,
deal.
but there's 20 other countries spending whatever their share is on that too.
If I'm the guy that pays 2/3 of the nut for NATO, and I'm the guy that brings all 100% of the deterrent factor to NATO. Remember, we have troops stationed all over Western Europe. Quick response, military presence that has protected countries like Spain, Italy, of course, Israel. But you look at these countries where we have a military presence, we are the world's deterrent to evil. And at the end of the day, NATO is done. I believe you're going to start seeing base closures. We all know, I'll ask you this, and you're good at this. If tomorrow somebody were foolish enough to attack the U.S. on our soil, it's one thing to bomb our base in Libya. Okay, well, that's annoying. You're gonna pay for it, but it's over there. If somebody came to our country and invaded us, you'd have half of these weak, worthless Americans going, "We deserve it. I surrender." They'd have their purple hair and their freaking nose rings. Yep. And then, "Oh, goody, I'm so glad you came. Have a cookie. Oh, you're gay? Cut your head off." But that's okay because they don't care. They died with honor. Which country that's in NATO would be first to deploy troops from their military here? Which country would fly troops into LaGuardia to support our effort because we're a NATO member? Don't you say England. All they had to do is go patrol the Strait of Hormuz.
Canada would be.
I believe they would too. So, we got those 80 people. Now who?
No, I think all of the NATO countries would come to it. They're part of NATO.
No, you're completely
wrong.
No, I'm
not. Why?
Look, they won't even let us land on our bases.
NATO's a defense pact, not an aggressive pact. It's not an offensive organization. I'm not wrong.
How many of you people agree with Ash?
Everyone agrees with Ash.
Then they're all stupid. If you really believe that
how can two things be true? We didn't tell any of our allies we were going to attack.
Nobody said we didn't tell them anything.
But we wanted permission to use their bases before we attacked? How can those two things be true? They can't.
Okay, I can tell you.
They can't.
Are you through?
No.
We did not commit their troops to do anything. We did all the heavy lifting, all of it.
Yeah, we did. I know.
All we asked for was,
that.
"Hey, can we land here and refuel our planes? Let our pilots get 8 hours of sleep after flying across the Atlantic?" No. You're not my ally. You're not my ally when you do that. You're just somebody whose butt I've been protecting for 40 years. I say, we're out of NATO. We're through giving them money. This ought to help the leftists. Oh, I'm not surprised at all that Tammy says Ash is correct. You're such a liberal idiot. I think that if you watch the left spin in, let's take the money.
Don't go with the Japan tell the U.S. they were going to attack. Of course they didn't. Nobody tells anybody they're going to attack.
You're right. Nobody tells anybody they're going to attack. You're right, Ash. Thanks for saying
Well, they're not going to go and tell the person they're attacking.
At the end of the day.
But your allies typically are let in on things.
Are they?
Yes.
I wonder if England called us before they took over Grenada. I look at it and say this. We have enough leaks in our own. We have enough leaks and people we can't trust in our own country. Why would we tell England, who is so Islamic pacifist, they won't even let us land our planes on property that we co-own? Why would we share with them our plans and alert potentially our enemies? I don't understand that. And the fact of the matter is, when I pay 2/3 of the bills, and I'm thinking like Jack Nicholson here at Guantanamo, when I provide you the very freedom that you enjoy, do not hinder my efforts to enhance my own national security. And if you really believe that all these weak-kneed countries, if an Islamic nation were to attack the U.S. on our soil, if you really believe the England that wouldn't let us land because it might piss off the Muzzies, if you think they're going to deploy the Royal Navy to protect us, I think you're
If
just
a country
as crazy
attacked,
as a
they
goose.
would.
No, I don't believe you for
They're
a minute.
part of NATO. They're bound to it.
I don't agree at all.
You don't have to agree.
And I don't think anybody but you and the naysayer, if, like I said, if Donald Trump walked out on the water and picked up the Pope's cap and brought it back to him, we have people on our program who would say, see, Donald Trump can't swim. Told you. He walked on the water.
Fair enough.
Can't
They
swim.
would.
That's why.
Yep, I agree. He
So-
could cure cancer and they wouldn't believe it.
That's exactly right. So, I put,
He'd say he's killing the health insurance industry.
as 90% of you, I put zero credence in those. When I have certain people that disagree with me, I know I'm right. And it's rarely you, but in this case, you're wrong. I'd love to hear from you. If you think that our NATO partners, our allies, our deepest friends would rush to the aid of the U.S., you know what they would say?
If a country attacked, they would.
I just don't believe you. I just don't believe you. They would say, that's your war,
You
bro.
don't have to believe me. They would.
So what if now?
They haven't left NATO. They're bound to it.
Well, they're bound to it. I tell you what, we're fixing to leave NATO. And we'll see how long Western Europe, as you believe it exists, survives.
The U.S. isn't leaving NATO.
Book it, people. Daddy told you first. I'm telling you. That's exactly right, Junior. You're correct, Brent. We paid for the access.
Yeah, and NATO is a defense organization, not an offensive organization. It's the way it was designed to protect and unite against an attack from the Soviet Union primarily, but from an attack. That's what it was designed for. It's not designed to go, okay, let's go attack Iran. All you need to come along. That's not what NATO was designed for.
Here's the difference.
No, there is no difference. It's what it was designed for.
No, there's 100%
No,
difference.
there's not.
Yeah, because what you just said is factually incorrect.
No, it's not.
We didn't ask them to come along. We didn't ask them to come along. We did all the work. We didn't ask them to come along. Nobody said, hey, Italy, send me 500 troops. In fact, we haven't put any troops on the ground over there.
You're getting mad at NATO
I'm
countries
not
for
mad.
not. No, you're not.
I'm being practical.
Trump is getting mad at NATO countries for not helping out in an act of aggression. That's not what NATO was designed for.
Well, there's design and there's practicality. I'm going to tell you this.
The coalition that went into Iraq was not all NATO forces either. Australia is not part of NATO. New Zealand isn't part of NATO.
No, there were other countries that realized that these terrorist idiots needed to be eliminated. I 100% agree. I'm just telling you.
Because they all believe the lie that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. That
So
was
did
the
we.
difference then.
Did you at that time, or did you believe they didn't have it? I'll tell you about this weapons of mass destruction. We observed that Iran lied. Imagine that. The Muzzies lied. We observed that they have more than short-range ballistic missiles. We saw one, okay? And they bragged, as they said, it was their inalienable right to enrich uranium if they wanted to.
Here's the funny thing, because you know the same guy. He said he knew when he was in the military Iran had missiles that went this long.
Then it was it was time to bomb.
So if we were stupid enough to believe them,
we should have just
that
continued
they
in our
did well.
ignorance.
No, I'm just saying. If our military intelligence is dumb enough to believe Iran that we only have a 2,000-mile range missile,
They didn't believe it.
They did believe it because
No.
everybody's going, oh, geez, they could hit Diego Garcia. They told us we only had 2,000
The guy we
miles.
know was in intelligence in the military. Certainly his superiors were privy to any of his intelligence. So the Navy knew. They knew they had the missiles.
Yeah, but here's my point. All these talking heads have gone on and going, oh, geez, we didn't know they could reach Diego Garcia. That's BS because other people in your intelligence organization knew they had missiles that could reach Diego Garcia. Again, they don't. This is the problem I have right now.
Okay.
They're feeding us a bunch of lies. That's the problem I have. We didn't know they could reach Diego Garcia. No, we talked to somebody who said when I was in, we knew they could reach Diego Garcia.
So would you be?
This is the problem I have right now.
Your problems don't affect national security. Would you be happier if the United States came out and said, "Look, folks, we've known for 2 decades that these fools had missiles they were lying to us about. North Korea has been helping them with technology, and oh, by the way, they were 2 weeks away from enriching uranium, which Donald Trump said last night. If they had a bomb, I have no doubt they would use it on Israel." So Israel had their agenda. It was clear. It was certainly emergent. It was defensive. They needed to do something. We also noticed that, hey, oil is important. Russia and China need that oil. We've already put pressure on them with Venezuela. We've already eliminated any loyalty to the commies by basically blockading Cuba. Why don't we just go ahead and kill 2 birds with 1 stone? Iran's had it coming forever. Iran deserves to be blown back to the Stone Age. And oh, by the way, it's in our national security interest to do it. So we'll do all the work. And oh, by the way, all we need to do is just use. BJ Nelson, I'm going to ask you something. Are you seriously giving us advice on content right now at this time in your tenure? I try to read the comments that are pertinent to the conversation, and that hurts. That hurts. I lost my train of thought. Let's take a break.
All right. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends, come out tonight. We will be there for Wade and Carter night at Palace Bingo. Went services for all your electrical needs. Whether you need power outlets, a whole home backup generator, Went has you covered. Paravita Wellness. Paravita Wellness for all your healthy eating. Get in, talk to Erica Briggs. She can help you with all your dietary needs, whether you're diabetic, whether you've had bariatric surgery, whether you're just looking to eat healthier. Paravita has you covered. Erica now also accepting your health savings account and FSA accounts to pay for your Paravita meals. So get into Paravita, talk to Erica. She'll help you out with all you need.
She's got some amazing things going on right now they're doing over there. So it's
really
a great time.
She's supposed to be in, and she was supposed to come in today.
She's probably busy.
Probably. So. Melissa Hanson says, I think I need to take both your BPs. Probably so.
It's good to be passionate about things. It's good to care about things. It's good to have an opinion. It's good to have an open discussion.
It is.
We're better at it than anybody, and we're good at it. We're going to invite in Tammy Keeling to come in here. And, yes, the Astros won yesterday. Jordan, the
5 in a row now.
First State Bank of Louise, Astros update. Burrows pitched well yesterday. Astros win again, beating the Red Sox. Astros have now won 5 in a row.
Best thing Brigman did was leave the Bo Sox after last year.
5 in a row, 4 in a row?
5 in a row now, I think.
There
5 and 2.
Tammy, you can come.
That's Callie Fromme.
I'm Callie. Yeah.
Hi, Callie.
Good morning.
There you go. We're good. Give her a microphone, maybe.
Yep, there we go.
All right.
Good morning, friend. How are you?
I'm terrific. Thanks. Thank you very much.
You had a couple of things you wanted to update and tell us about with the Victoria 100 Club.
Yes, and thank you for always letting me have this platform.
Always.
A few weeks ago, y'all mentioned it, and I want to expand on the topic. On March 18th, there was that tragic drowning in Calhoun County where a father was fishing with his 3 children, and he went in to rescue one, and that particular child and the dad they didn't make it back. So it's interesting because on the morning of the 19th, I woke up to an email from game warden Jared Lewis, and it gives me pride to think that he thought it was so important to tell me this information right away, while at the same time his wife had just given birth to their baby. I mean, it was kind of interesting that he took the time at that point in his life to tell me that equipment that the Victoria 100 Club had purchased for the game wardens was utilized in the recovery of the father and child. And I waited because I didn't want to talk about it right then. I needed to be respectful to the family. But we had purchased this side sonar equipment, and I've learned through my role in the 100 Club that water recovery is one of the major things that game wardens do. I didn't really realize that that was such a big part of their job. But Calhoun County had called Warden Lewis to let him know the situation and needed help with the equipment that we bought the local game wardens. So because of the access to this particular bayou, some larger boats couldn't make it in, and they had this river boat with the side sonar that DPS didn't have. No one had it. So they were able to go in, and with DPS in another boat, but our boat with the side sonar was able to recover the bodies in very short order, which is so beneficial to the family and to everyone. They need this thing wrapped up, because without that equipment, it could have been days and days before they would have found the bodies. So I felt very proud that we and the members and all the membership dues that everyone pays to our organization were able to make a purchase that was utilized, and no one in the area had it.
Well, it's another one of those things, too, that's something y'all haven't talked about. You didn't brag about. I mean, there's other things out there that law enforcement and first responders use that, oh, by the way, that was provided by the Victoria 100 Club.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, it's not like you went and bought it that day and said, here, use it. They've had it.
They've had it, and Calhoun County knew that they had it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm really proud of that. And so it's all of the membership dollars that make those things possible. So God bless that family. It's terrible tragedy, but we're happy that we could help bring some closure to that.
Well, and the great stewards that you all are of the dollars that you receive, because you've done a great job. Your organization has done a great job of growing those funds and managing them to the intent that you always intended. That's the great thing is
Thank you.
Your dollars go where you say they're going to go.
That's right. And in the instance where this year we couldn't have the banquet because of the fire at the country club, we could have gone and spent more money to have the event elsewhere, but it's really not our money.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
Hats off for that. You're going to have a drawing today
Yeah.
for, what was it, people that sent you
So,
pictures?
The iconic 100 Club sticker that you see on cars around town. Any of our current members who wanted to participate in the contest, they sent a photo of the sticker on their car, and they put it in the comments on different Facebook posts that the 100 Club has. And so we're doing it old school, truly drawing a name out of a hat. And we've got 3 prizes, and we're going to draw for them right now. So one of them is a ride-along with the police department. One is a ride-along with the sheriff's office. And then the third one is pretty unique. You'll go spend a Saturday morning at a fire department, and you can put on the heavy gear and feel what that really weighs and how it feels.
You
and
can do that in June, and they're going to let you wash
yeah,
a
or
fire
August
truck.
would be even better.
You get to wash a fire truck.
And feel like when the water hose is fully pressurized, the weight and the strength that's required for that, swing an axe, whatever. So those
David
are,
Brager adds, we use tools provided by the 100 Club daily. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, David.
Awesome.
All
Well, okay, so hand me the cap.
If you've never gone on a ride-along and you win, go.
I get the cap. Ash, mix up
Okay,
the
wait,
names.
yeah, and so the first one we'll do is for the police ride-along.
Okay.
Okay, so I want people to see that you were mixing them up.
I'm
There's
mixing
been
them up.
Lots
I'm
of
tossing the
free food.
salad.
Okay, we'll let that go.
All right,
Pull
so
one of those.
this is for the police department. Rick Jones. Rick
Rick
Jones.
Jones.
Yeah,
wins.
congratulations, Rick
Way to go, Rick.
Jones. All
There
right,
you go. All right,
very
so
nice.
mix them up a little bit more there. Okay, there you go. I trust you.
And
Well done.
I purposefully chose that hat, by the way. That's a local nonprofit canine rescue. It's an organization that trains dogs for different
It
purposes.
says Travis Custom Bracelets.
No. All right. So this one will be for the sheriff's ride-along. Barbara Brazil.
Oh, there
There
you
you
go.
go.
Good job. All right, here to mix up another one there.
I haven't mixed these up very well. These are all guests that have been on our show.
This is for the guy that gets to play with the fire hose.
Or swing on the pole, maybe. I don't know.
Wow, we're tossing salads and swinging on poles. I got
Okay,
it all
here we
going
go.
here.
Dr. Philip Suarez.
Hey, that's
There you go.
awesome.
Okay,
Awesome.
thank you. So
There you go.
I will be in touch with all of these people.
I want to tell you again, we always tell you thank you, and if you're not careful, if we're not careful, it sounds kind of superficial. Hey, thanks for all you do. Have a good day. But we really can't overemphasize the 100% positive effect that the 100 Club has on Victoria and our surrounding area through things like this, being in Calhoun County. And then, and honestly, it was always a great organization, but it's really flourished under your leadership. And I want to just thank you personally for the great job you've done.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. It means a lot. So thanks
We
for letting
mean
me
it.
be here.
Always.
And congratulations,
And
everybody.
don't forget, folks, this doesn't mean you can't still join the 100 Club. If you haven't, go ahead. Go to the 100 Club webpage or the Facebook page and become a member. You'll feel good. You won't notice it. And
We're not going to ask you for anything else.
No, that's
we
the
just
other
want
thing.
your $100.
That's it. Once a year. That's it.
That's it. No meetings.
I like the idea. You don't even have to go to a dinner.
No, you
Just
have
send
to do
us the 100
anything.
and stay home.
And I've mentioned it before, but our beautiful website was recently revamped by Cody.
Brand us coming in strong.
Yeah.
All right, we'll give you a blank screen to walk out on.
Thanks,
and
guys.
Thank you so much for being here. Okay. Look,
Thanks, Callie.
can you just confirm, just give a head nod or a shake your head if I say something incorrect? Honest to goodness.
Yep.
You and I have these kinds of discussions with this much passion daily about all kinds of things, many of which are less important than this.
Yes.
I mean, we literally,
And here's the thing. I do believe Iran has it coming. I do.
no, but we've argued about like who's got the best queso in town. You're an idiot. We do that all the time. It's just how we communicate. If you're feeling to yourself that, oh man, I wonder if Wade and Carter's going to stay on the air. Oh, they have a rift between them. It just simply doesn't exist. And I'll tell you this. I don't have, as far as I know, I don't have that relationship with anybody else. I mean that. My mom and I'll get
But I'll be honest, in
sideways.
10 years, I don't think
I'll
we've ever had this
apologize.
passionate a conversation.
I think we did once. I don't remember what you were wrong about then, but I'll have a discussion with Dawn that sometimes I know that I get out of line. Y'all that know Dawn, she doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't get animated. And I end up
She
always.
just raises her pistol out of her purse and points it at you and tells you to back down.
Now see, Dawn's defending me, which means I'm in trouble at home. She says Brent will be better after a long nap. Honey, I'm fine, and you know I'm fine. But Dawn will confirm, and Dawn will tell you she's just never wrong, and that's just part of being married. And I will go back constantly, correctly, humbly, and apologize. I don't think either of us owes the other an apology here. We're just having a discussion. It is not a
I'm not trying to change your mind. You're not trying to change mine because I don't think we will.
no. I mean, 2 + 2 is 5. I mean, it's just simple Canadian math,
Christy Thurman says a good debate is always healthy.
right? Well, and I appreciate that our listeners are supporting that you and I disagreed. I do think, and I do agree with you, and this is what's always great, is that I do learn from you and I do listen to you. In an ideal world, not permission and not forgiveness, we would have taken the time to hey, here's our plan. This is going to happen. Do we have your support to utilize your bases? And I still believe that a number of these countries would have said no. And in that, and I don't think Donald Trump counted on that.
No, I agree. I agree with you on
think
that because they're afraid of the radical Islamists that are in their countries.
And I think that's indicative of a bigger problem that those countries have. You see what's happening? It is a problem. It is a Islamic problem. It's a problem, people. And yet we've got it going. Epic City. We've got all these.
The Meadows now.
You've got all these things going on.
But my point is, my eyes are seeing one thing, but I'm hearing the rhetoric, and they're not adding up.
So if You do support the effort by the United States. You're not anti what has happened. Bobby Leisher says we should hug. No, we don't do that on the air.
Not on the air.
Because you know what? If I gave Ash a hug in this context, and we're going to get to that in a second, it would seem appropriate. But somebody would take a snapshot of it and go, "Look, I always knew they were gay." That's the deal. And so that gives us a segue. The Supreme Court took up the discussion of birthright citizenship. You and I are in total agreement that that's folly. And I do think that it's interesting that the country was so torn that a constitutional amendment was required to provide what seems to be common sense to me. I have no doubt that after the Emancipation Proclamation of 1865, that at some point there were people who literally said, well, if I can't own those people anymore, then send them back to Africa. We don't need them. They viewed them, even on voter rolls, as like half a person. They treated them unfairly to the point that the context, the time period required the government to get involved and say, look, anybody who's in this country legally and subject to its jurisdictions, who is born here, is a citizen. That was 100% a response to the freed slave who may have been from Nigeria. You're an American now. We're giving you every right that an American has. At a time when being an American meant something. These people weren't waving Nigerian flags.
No.
And that's why the amendment was done. It was not done so that when an ambassador from China is here and his wife is 8 months pregnant, she can fly to the embassy, drop a kid, and decide that that kid's an American.
Well, and in that case, they're not because they're actually here
legally, but they're not subject to our jurisdiction.
No, they have diplomatic
and that's
immunity.
why that's in there.
And it's the same thing. Like, now you've got this birthright tourism that is popping up where people come here to drop a kid. They've been coming across our border for as long as I've lived here to have kids. If you or I, as an American citizen, well, you and I can't because we can't give birth. But if an American...
Well, I think that's debatable these days.
Well, if an American woman did the things that illegals do to get to this country to give birth, as a pregnant American, they would be charged with endangering the fetus or endangering the life of the baby, right?
Absolutely.
But we just let them come here willy-nilly. We don't do anything about it. We let them drop a baby, and boom, the kid has citizenship, and mom never has to leave because you can't abandon a citizen.
Andrew Alvarez points out companies in China exist for the sole purpose of birthright vacations. It's how you invade a country slowly.
And I didn't listen to it all yesterday, Monty. I heard some of the questions were rather kind of
questionable.
Silly. I think John Roberts is trying to skate this one down the middle from the little bit I heard from him's questioning. And I don't think he wants to go on the conservative side of this. I don't. Based on his questioning, I think he wants a 5-4 decision or whatever it is going the other way.
Why is it really even that big a deal?
But here's the problem. Like, when I was on a student visa in this country, I was not subject. Yes, I had to obey the laws of the United States. But if I screwed up, they're sending me home.
Linda Chris with a broad statement. She says, if you're born and raised in America, you're an American. Raised somewhere else, not American. So let me give you a scenario.
Well,
Mom and dad come here from Mexico illegally. They have 2 kids while they're here. They both work. They've both paid taxes, maybe not income taxes, but they've paid taxes. 25 years in, they're deported by ICE because they're not American. Are their kids legitimate American citizens? In my mind, you can't be here illegally. You're And then to me, your kid, that's the definition of birthright among the leftists, birthright citizenship. Now, I might put a little asterisk right there and make it not so absolute. Some kid that's never been out of Edna, Texas, I may not deport that kid. I may give that kid a fast track to citizenship.
I wouldn't.
Okay, see, and you know why? Because you earned your citizenship, and I was.
See, and
blessed
that's where I
by God.
disagree with what Linda said, because raised somewhere else, not American. I'm American.
And Patrick
I was
Strauss says,
raised
I think
somewhere
they
else.
would all be illegal. I agree. I do. I agree. But
I think you give a path to some sort of visa, but I think there's conditions to it. And I think if they break the law, they're gone. I don't care.
Jonathan Williams says, for argument's sake, the context argument is what the left uses for gun control. I agree and I disagree. Of course, back then, the Second Amendment was to protect us from the government, and the idea being that, well, everybody'd have a musket. Well, so did the government back then. The government had a musket too. So, I realize that I will admit that the gun control argument gets skewed in ways that even I, as a conservative, don't always agree with. I think that it's like if you let one little hole in the dike, pretty soon the whole thing falls apart. And I think that's the guard there. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
So we've agreed on two things and disagreed on one. It's a great.
Randy says illegal doesn't go away over time. Exactly.
Amen.
You're here illegally. And there's the difference. They do everything to try to hide from the law and hide from sticking out in this country. They're not subject to the jurisdiction thereof.
Amen. By the way, never ever confuse passion or frustration with anger, and never ever for a minute think that you people could possibly drive a wedge between me and Ash. With that said, and because we didn't get to it at all today, I'm calling it. We need to have a show tomorrow. We need to talk about Easter, and we need to talk about
Artemis too.
So, folks, tune in the morning. We'll be here. I'm off tomorrow. We
I
don't work
changed my
tomorrow.
view. I was not a big fan of Artemis, and I watched the liftoff. I'm like, wow, this is actually.
Did you feel patriotic?
Felt kind of cool, like a kid who was enthralled with the moon landings way back when.
Well, that's the difference between me and you is I watched it live in elementary school, and you weren't born yet. All right, folks, we love you guys. Hope you have a great day, and we will talk to you mañana. Thanks
Bye,
to all our
folks.
listeners. Bye, folks.